Yep.
All right. I'm here with Bryant men's basketball head coach Jared Grasso. I appreciate the time. Time is valuable, especially now after the season. For you, I know we kind of have to jump right into it. You jump into recruiting, into the transfer portal, but you just kind of quickly looking at this year, obviously you make the jump to the conference. You guys have built a solid program. You're here. I know it wasn't the year you necessarily wanted, but it was still a solid year. Just kind of your reflection. Have you had any time?
Yeah, it obviously wasn't the outcome we desired going into the season. We had some ups and downs. I thought we played really good basketball early on, and I think we actually peaked early and never got back in that groove. Like after that Syracuse game, we had the stretch of sicknesses and kind of injuries, and we just never got back to playing in sync. And I said it all year. I really liked our group. Like I really like our guys as people. Some of them even I like more as people than as basketball people. Great kids, but they were just the group didn't connect the way I hoped it would. There was just something missing with us this year. That being said, we won 17 games, and for 5 years ago, if people would say, you move to the Atlantic 10, I mean, like the America East, and you're going to win 17 games in your first year in the America East. I mean, I think people would have been very happy with that. And, the reality is we recruited a team for the NEC last year. Now, granted, the move was made to the America East, and most of our recruiting was done before we made the move. Now, we had a talented enough group to win, but we weren't selling the move to the America East, which this year was a significantly better conference than the NEC. So I do think it's helped a little bit recruiting wise. This year being able to sell the conference, and I'm excited about some of the guys we've had the opportunity to recruit and some of the guys we're involved with moving forward. So I think the year was not a step backwards, but it wasn't what we wanted. And we've talked about it quite a bit. We need to make some adjustments and make some changes, and we need to take a step forward. And thankfully we have a returning veteran team for the first time again. And that's really big, I think, in college basketball right now. So the fact we have 6 or 7 guys who went through some things this year, went through some adversity, went through some hard, I think we'll be much more prepared for next year with this group having gone through those things.
Absolutely. And you had mentioned, obviously, what you guys did this year, in no way a step back. I think, too, kind of even if there was a critique or even, personally being hard on what this year was is a testament kind of what you guys have built. Again, you look 5 years ago before you came on board, coming off a tournament run, usually you have to start from scratch. So the fact that you guys did, like you said, up and down, still had a solid year, taking that momentum, you did that at Iona. I think you guys were 174-96, 4 conference titles, 5 tournaments. You've been a part of sustaining programs. You're now at that point as, obviously a head coach at Bryant. You have sustained that. How important is it to have a guy or a couple guys, Earl Timberlake, Gross Bullock, coming back to, again, kind of continue what you guys have built, but then take that next step in this new conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. Last year, we returned 4 guys, really only one of whom played significant minutes in Charles Pride. So we brought in 9 new guys, and there was an adjustment, and again, it was a talented group. On paper, extremely talented. But with 9 new guys, you're not always the fit of pieces sometimes isn't going to be right. And, we saw that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, before the COVID year, we had brought in 9 new guys and had some success and kind of faltered a little bit late. The next year, we go to the NCAA tournament with a group of returning guys, Peter Kish, Charles Pride, Hall Lysias, and then we added the right pieces around them. And this kind of feels like that year where you have, Sharif Gross Bullock and Earl Timberlake, 2 all-conference players returning, and Tyler Brailsford, Kayvon Kramer, Doug Eater, Miles Latimer all played significant minutes for us. So you have some veteran, older guys who have been through it and, know me, know our expectations. So having a core like that, I think, is really important. You look at Florida Atlantic, you look at San Diego State, like those were veteran teams who added a couple pieces and got really good. So we're hoping with the core we have coming back and adding the right pieces to it, we'll be able to sustain success. But the biggest piece is bringing in good players and bringing in the right guys, the right character, the right fit for our style and kind of the way we do things. And it's the reason we've had success. It's about the players. We've brought in good players and good people and good leaders and tough competitive guys. And I think that's what's helped us get this program rolling. And now I think we're in a position where we've set kind of a culture and a standard. And again, with the core group coming back, you add the right pieces around them, and hopefully we could be a pretty good team next year.
Definitely. And, moving forward, with that core, what for you guys in the portal? I know there's certain things you guys obviously can't talk about players coming in yet, but just what is the focus, to build around this core for you guys? And does it help kind of having a year under your belt in this new conference, getting used to the opponents, what that league is like? Does that play a role in kind of what you're looking for recruiting wise over the next, month or two?
Absolutely. It was an adjustment in the America East. Some of the front court sides we had a little bit of trouble with, so we're gonna try and get a little more physical and bigger up front. Our shooting, we have some guys who I think shot below what their standard would be and are better shooters than they were last season returning, but you can't just bank on that. So we try to add some shooting because I didn't think we shot the ball well enough last year. And the IQ and taking care of the basketball, our assist to turnover numbers, if you could just clean those up, we would have won 25 games this year. I mean, our assist to turnover numbers were terrible. So we're going to try and, bring guys in with clean games, low turnover guys who have an IQ. And that's one of the things for us. We need to just get a little more cerebral, catch, pass, shoot. And I think we're going to have, if we can add those kind of more intellectual, just higher IQ basketball type players, I think it'll help the guys we have returning because we do have some firepower coming back. So it's really for us about getting the right pieces and getting guys who kind of fit our style and our mold of work.
Yeah. And, last question, like I said, I know you're busy. Charles Pride, just, I know I can't do it quickly. You could do probably a whole podcast, just kind of obviously his amazing career at Bryant, just kind of what he meant to you and to the program. Obviously, which I think is very normal. He's been at Bryant, for I believe it was 4 years, correct? Graduated, just what he meant to the program and you, during your time.
Yeah, Charles took a chance on us. When he committed to us, it was coming off of 3-28, and it was that fall. It was during that fall, so it was more a vision. You sell a vision to somebody, but there's nothing tangible to show. And he took a chance on us, and I think it worked out for both of us. He came in, was an unbelievable player, unbelievable ambassador for our program on campus. Great kid, everyone knows him. Great personality, and obviously we continued to win and went to our first NCAA tournament with him. And he, in turn, became a much better player. And he's worked his tail off and put a ton of time in. I think our player development with my staff and all the time they put on the floor with him, he went from a guy who was a junkyard dog, tough, offensive rebounding, just energy, toughness guy to, a guy who 4 years later is on the Jerry West Award watch list and, put himself in position to be talked about as one of the best guards in the country. And that's a credit to him and the work he put in. And, I think right system, right fit. And, it's funny now, like you're not used to coaching guys for 4 years because there's so many transfers and so many different things. So, we had an unbelievable 4 years together. He's a kid that I love and I want to see do well and find the right next situation. And, for him, he wanted to go to a higher level. He wanted to see if he could play at the highest level. And, he has aspirations of playing in the NBA and thought that being at the highest level would put him in a better position to do that. And I hope he finds the right fit and situation because, again, he's a phenomenal kid who gave us 4 years of work and he just showed up and punched the clock every day. And that's why he became the player he has. And I know he's going to move on and do great things.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, today it's rare, like you said, it's rare 4 years. That's why I always laugh too. Some when they say, 4, will they take a 5th year with a program? For me, that I feel like is almost too long. Like 4 solid years is very rare for, you know what I mean, to get graduated and done everything.
4 years feels long now, again, because there's so many transfers, and sometimes, and I love Charles Pride, but sometimes it's something that's taking its course. Sometimes it's time to go someplace else. 5 years of playing the same, it's a long time. And I understand for different reasons why guys, you got your degree, which is the most important thing. So you can leave here with a Bryant degree. And if there's something else out there that you want to try, you want to take a chance, you want to bet on yourself and say, I could play at the highest level and I could lead this team to the Final Four, go do it. And thankfully we believe we can do the same here with the next group of guys. You are able to add pieces just as good as the ones you lose in the transfer portal. And in reality, we're trying to upgrade those pieces to become a team that not only can hopefully make NCAA tournaments again, but make a run in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Coach, again, appreciate the time. Looking forward to, kind of that next chapter and getting the ball rolling. I know there is no sleep in college basketball anymore, but thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Nathan.